Grand Slam dreaming. Get to know rising Aussie tennis stars, because these rising Aussies have been awarded Australian Open wildcards. 9 wildcards have been awarded to players to compete at Australian Open 2025, a group headlined by 3-time major champion Stan Wawrinka. Wawrinka will be joined at Melbourne Park, where the main draw begins on the 12th of January 2025, by Tristan Schoolcate from Western Australia, Lee Tu from South Australia, James McCabe from New South Wales, Daria Saville in Victoria, Ajla Tomljanovic and Emerson Jones from Queensland, Talia Gibson from Western Australia, and Maya Joint from Queensland. More main draw wildcards plus wildcard entries to the Australian Open 2025 qualifying tournament have already been announced. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam tennis. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025, the wildcards, and that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through the Australian Open wildcards awarded to the Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. So stick around with this Australian Open Life. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025, the wildcards. And that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. To you live from the home of the Australian Open at Melbourne Park, produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Life, we're based in Melbourne, Australia, bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis and all things Melbourne, all things Australian Open 2025. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through the Australian Open wildcards awarded to the Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. So let's talk about joining Saville and Tomljanovic in the women's main draw are a trio of exciting Aussie rising stars, and that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Now, Maya Joint, she's just 18, experienced one of the biggest rise in rankings in 2024. Her ranking exploded upward from number 684 to the cusp of the top 100 during a season in which she won more than 60 matches and reached 4 finals, winning 2. Maya Joint said, "It means the world to me to play in the Australian Open main draw for the first time. A massive thank you to Tennis Australia for making this dream come true. I can't wait to play my home slam, and it is extra special for me as my family is from Melbourne. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to play in front of them." Now, Gibson. Talia Gibson is from Western Australia. She reached 5 finals in 2024, at one stage winning 3 in a row on the Australian Pro Tour in September and October 2024. After starting the season ranked 236, she peaked at world number 125, winning almost 50 singles matches. And Talia said, "I am very excited and honoured to receive a main draw wildcard. So incredibly grateful to Tennis Australia for the opportunity." Talia said, "It's a wonderful acknowledgement for all the hard work my team and I have put in throughout 2024. I'm really looking forward to starting 2025 with my favourite Grand Slam and to playing in front of a home crowd." Emerson Jones, she's from Queensland, and she was a revelation this year, triumphing at the New South Wales Open. It's an ITF 75 level event. She was just 16 when she won that, and she's now a top 400 ranked player, having started the year at world number 797, would you believe? She also became the world number 1 junior after reaching the girls singles finals at both the Australian Open and Wimbledon, and she closed the year with victory at the prestigious ITF Junior World Tour Finals. And she said, "It's hard to believe I'll be playing my first Grand Slam match here in Australia. I'm excited. The crowds at the Australian Open Junior Final this year in 2024 really blew my mind, and I enjoyed every match with this support. I'm training really hard right now with this opportunity on my mind." We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025, the wildcards, and that's what we love at this Australian Open life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Live. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through the Australian Open wildcards awarded to the Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. The women's draw has enjoyed an injection of Aussie star power with the presence of Saville and Tomljanovic. Daria from Victoria, she's a former top 20 player who reached the Australian Open 4th round in 2016 and 2017. She continued to rise after a serious knee injury derailed her career 2 years ago. Outside the top 200 in January 2024, Saville was back inside the top 100 by April 2024 after reaching the Hobart semi-finals and thriving in the US spring season. Inactivity after the US Open caused her ranking to drop, but she ended the season on a high with the Gold Coast Australian Pro Tour title, her first singles trophy since 2017. And Daria Saville said, "I'm delighted to have another opportunity to compete in the main draw of the Australian Open. I'd like to thank Tennis Australia for their continued support and allowing me to compete in my home Grand Slam. I am incredibly motivated and working hard to make my way back inside the top 100 and back to my career high ranking of 20. The Australian summer is my favourite time of the year, playing at home, and hopefully it sets the tone for a strong 2025 season." And fast facts, did you know that Daria Saville, originally Croatian, and she married Luke Saville, who may or may not be still a current player, he might be coaching, or maybe he's just specialising in doubles. Let us know. Ajla Tomljanovic, she's a 3-time major quarter finalist and another player restoring her ranking after serious injury. She was ranked 297 to start the season and missed 3 months of competition after the Australian Open 2024. But like Saville, she managed to return to the top 100 after a brilliant grass court season and winning the WTA 125K title in Hong Kong. The former world number 32, Tomljanovic, she's advanced to the second week at all Grand Slam tournaments except the Australian Open, and that's something she'd love to change in 2025. Tomljanovic said, "There's no better feeling than playing in Melbourne in front of all the Aussie fans. I'm so excited and grateful to be back competing at the Australian Open." We're going to take a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. G'day, welcome back to this Australian Open Live. Really pleased you can join us today to go through this fantastic, exciting news about the rising Aussie stars with Grand Slam dreams awarded Australian Open wildcards. Now, we've left hopefully the best till last. We're going to talk about former world number 1 and Grand Slam winner, 3-time major champion Stan Wawrinka. Now, Stan Wawrinka has very fond memories of the Australian Open, winning the title in 2014 in what was his first Grand Slam triumph. He peaked at world number 3. Oh, did I say world number 1? Bit of an error. He peaked at world number 3 with that victory that year at the Australian Open, and later added major titles at Roland Garros in 2015 and the 2016 US Open. And would you believe, Stan Wawrinka, he's 39, and the Swiss star, I think it's pretty common knowledge, he's battled injuries in recent years, but did manage to progress to the quarterfinals at the Australian Open in 2020 for the 5th time. And that was his last appearance in a major quarterfinal. And Stan says, I'm incredibly grateful to receive a wild card into the Australian Open 2025. Melbourne holds such a special place in my heart. It's where I won my first Grand Slam. It's one of the great milestones of my career. The city, the people, the loud fans, the electric atmosphere make the Australian Open so special to me, and I'm really looking forward to getting back on court in Melbourne. And of course, Stan Wawrinka, a fan favourite. He's known for his stunning one-handed backhand, and he's joined in the main draw, of course. We've just gone through them by those rising Aussie tennis stars. And that's what we love at this Australian Open life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. That about wraps it up for this episode of the Spotlight series, focusing on the wildcards awarded at the Australian Open 2025. So stick around with this Australian Open life. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025. The wildcards, Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. You've been listening to me, it's the Bloke Who Walks. This Australian Open Life is produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia, bringing you all things Australian Open, the sights, sounds, summer of tennis at the Australian Open 2025. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now. Hang on a sec. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam Tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, Melbourne Park, produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Life, we're based in Melbourne, Australia. We'll be bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis, qualifying news, live tournament match play, audio only, radio style commentary, and the tournament kicks off in mid-January 2024. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on a second, did we say there's other information about ground passes? Yes, there is. Now, you can also find 7-day ground passes between the 22nd and the 28th of January only, and we won't run through all the benefits there, but if you're willing to part with 139 Australian dollars, you'll get great value there. So I guess that's for the hardcore tennis fans that know that they definitely want to be going every day to the Australian Open. That is an expensive week if you're not taking your own food as well. But all this information is on the Australian Open website. It is ausopen.com/ticket-info. once you go to that website for the Australian Open, you'll be taken through and you'll be able to just look for the, it's right up there on the top of the page, ground passes, and you'll be able to get your tickets there, and you'll be able to find tickets and get more information as you need them. But the ground passes, to finish off, that'll take you on an iconic Melbourne Park adventure, and you can explore the incredible world of food and beverages and entertainment on Grand Slam Oval. You can catch up with the tennis up close in Kia Arena and the Western Courts, all the show courts. There's some great show courts on the outdoors there, and some really great viewing areas. And you don't have to, all you need is just to be able to find a seat, unreserved seating only, of course, and they're available there for you to book. This Australian Open Life is produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. We are the experts about all things Melbourne Park, and all things Australian Open 2024. So stick around with us during the Australian Open 2024. We'll be bringing you live match commentary, audio only, radio style commentary throughout the first week of the Australian Open, and as we get into the second week, and we'll be picking and choosing some of our favourite upcoming matches with some of the lesser known players. We like focusing on the wild cards and those outside the top 100, the qualifiers, those that get through, and we like following the lesser known players and bringing a little bit of colour to the Australian Open for you. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye for now.